Good morning and welcome back. It's absolutely freezing here in Doncaster this morning, actually. Clear blue sky, as I've always said, one of my favourite types of day, and there's a rumour going around that it's going to snow, but I guess we'll see. Anyway, first things first, got to apologise. I was meant to put up some vlogs last week, but I was actually quite unwell. I had the flu and it absolutely floored me. And to be totally honest with you, I haven't quite recovered from it yet. So I still feel like, I don't know, I don't feel 100%, that's probably the best way to describe it. But this week is very much going to be about getting back on the horse, being productive again. Now this week is an interesting one because there's not actually anything specifically that I need to do by a particular deadline or anything like that. But I have got things that I need to chip away at. So I have actually got this app that's been helping me out with it. I'll forget what it's called. What is it called? It's literally just called Productive. And basically what it is it's like basically a to-do list. But what you do is you put anything that you want to do on a regular basis, how often you want to do it. So say for example, most of these things I want to do every day. And then when I've done it, I get to swipe across and tick it off. And the app will actually keep a track of what I've achieved and when and stuff like that. So for example, I've already meditated today, so I can tick that off. And then I've got all kinds of things on here, including exercise, practicing the piano, etc. So basically one of my plans for 2019 is to do that. It doesn't necessarily matter how much time I spend on these things. Say for example, practicing the piano, I've not said practice the piano for 30 minutes because on some days I might only get to sit down for 5 or 10. But I figured if I chip away at it, if I have a little bit of practice every single day, that's better than practicing for 30 minutes once a week, for example. The plan, of course, is to form habits out of these things, but I guess we'll see how that goes. I must admit, this is definitely the way that my brain works. I don't like allocating time to do certain things because otherwise I just won't do them. I just sort of sit there and not give it my full attention, whereas I am invested in doing everything on this list. But sometimes you feel like doing it late at night, sometimes you feel like doing it first thing in the morning, and I don't like the idea of 8 till 9 o'clock being one thing, then 9 till 10 being another. Whereas with this, I can keep a track of what I've actually done and hopefully make some progress with all of these things gradually over time. One of the things that I've specifically decided to kickstart again is my harmony practice. Specifically with this, which I know I've mentioned in a vlog before, this absolutely wonderful book by Walter Piston. Now years ago, I actually used to sit and do exercises from this book for hours on end. I'd sit with obviously multiple cups of tea and just work through. And it always keeps my brain moving, it makes sure I'm thinking about harmony in a very creative way. And genuinely I love working through it. But obviously at the moment I don't have time to be working on it for hours and hours at a time. So I've decided to do a few minutes of it a day. So obviously I've got the book out and I've dusted it off a bit. I've got out this notebook which I write all the exercises in, and yeah, it's bringing back a lot of memories. But I figured I'd rather do that than totally neglect the harmony. I'd rather actually be working towards it because I'll get better at it if I do a little bit every day. So there you go. So it's now 8:30. I'm making myself a bit of a prawn stir fry. It smells really nice. But so far I have accomplished 8 out of the 11 things on my to-do list, so I've still got a couple of things to do, but I think that's pretty good going for my first day back on the horse, so to speak. Obviously I've got a couple of hours before I go to bed and hopefully I'll get everything done. But genuinely I'm quite pleased with what I've achieved so far today. And also I'm looking forward to enjoying this stir fry. I am very, very hungry. This week's going pretty well so far. It's actually Wednesday. Believe it or not, I was so busy yesterday that I didn't actually pick the camera up. I was overcome with a lot of work stuff, more than I anticipated, and I accomplished about 3 of the 11 things on the list. So we were off to a flying start on Monday, but these things happen. Having said that, one of the things that I'm learning about this list is that really, if I can accomplish all 11 in a day, that's great. But really, I've realised what the function of this list is to tell me that I've always got something I can be working on. And some of these projects on this list, one of them is a musical that I started writing when I was 17. And it's one of these things where this year, I actually thought if I don't start chipping away at this, I'm never going to finish it. Doing 10-15 minutes on it a day means that it's moving forward. And I feel better for that. I feel good that I'm actually bringing some of those elements together from ideas that have just been sat there doing nothing. Obviously I want to form habits out of this, but it is a little bit harder than that, particularly seeing as this is the first week back. And I'll be honest, there are definitely things that I'm going to achieve this week that I can sort of see projecting forward. And certain habits may take a little bit longer to form, but you can rest assured that I am trying my best to accomplish everything I can throughout the day. Also, it is really cold here. Really, really cold. In fact, let's have a look. It's not particularly snowy, as you can probably see. There's a little tiny bit of frost there. Other than that, not a great deal going on snow-wise. In fact, on top of the extension roof, we could see that, can't we? Tiny bit of frost. But really, no snow yet. So we'll have to look out for that. So I've actually come out for a couple of meetings this morning, and I'll tell you what, it's really, really cold. Still no snow. I've been to quite a few places in Doncaster now, and there's definitely not any snow anywhere. I've seen like the odd bit of frost and ice, but no sign. But it is absolutely freezing. I mean, obviously not literally freezing, because it's like 3 degrees according to the car. But there you go, still keeping a lookout for that snow. So one of the things on my list to do is play the piano for 15 minutes a day. Now, I've been working through like a practice regimen for quite a while now, which involves stripping back some of the more basic elements of piano playing, including the C major scale. So at the moment, I'm actually working on getting things like C major arpeggios and scales up to scratch at a certain BPM with the metronome. And it might seem like a pointless thing, but I'm finding that the more I work on this stuff, the stuff that is, you know, perceived as being quite simple, it's making harder passages a little bit easier to play. And obviously one of the things I'm noticing is the discrepancy between my left and my right hand. So my left hand isn't amazing, but it's definitely getting better. Also, this is such a creaky piano stool now. You can hear it in so many recordings that I do. I have to sort it out. No idea what's doing it. But yeah, sitting and actually working on those things is really improving my playing generally. And that just seems to be a huge metaphor for how I'm approaching a lot of these things at the moment. It doesn't have to be something ridiculously complicated. It can be something quite simple, but breaking it down into what it is and making sure I can get that right. Because these are the sort of things that I would normally skip over. And I think it's better to actually work on them, because it means that you leave no stone unturned with your playing. So there we go. Let's do 15 minutes of piano practice. So I'm just getting to a point where I've accomplished about 7 out of 11 of the things on the list. But I'm going climbing with Dan and Hannah to round the evening off in Sheffield. So that'll be me for today. So I'll technically be able to take exercise off, but who knows, when I get back I might do a bit more. But like I was saying, it's not always about accomplishing everything on your list. But anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning, I am off to ABC's this morning, and I'll tell you what, it is very, very cold. It's reading -2. It still hasn't snowed, but I am waiting for the car to defrost, so does that count? Possibly not. But anyway, we're recording some drums at ABC's. I'm looking forward to seeing him. I actually haven't seen him since last year, so this should be fun. So there we go, another session at ABC's done. I took him out for lunch as well. It was really great to catch up with him. I'm not going to tell you what we're working on because it's a bit of a surprise, but I'm really pleased with it as always. Always great to work with him. We always get a really good result out of it, and I'm particularly pleased with this. I can't wait for you to hear it. But in the meantime, I'm going to go and get some ingredients to make something for dinner, I think. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm back at home now, and I'll tell you what, Asda was absolutely freezing. So I texted Dad and said, put the heating on, because it's freezing everywhere else. Now that I'm home, I've had a cup of tea. There's a real temptation, because it's, I mean, my watch is definitely wrong. It's nearly 6 o'clock, and it's dark outside, and really all I want to do is just have a bath and go to bed. But I'm going to push through, because I haven't really done anything on the list today. Of course, I've made some progress with certain music projects, but in terms of those 11 things that I have to do on a daily basis, I haven't done any of them. So I'm going to sit now, and I'm going to start working through the ones that are the most appealing to start off with, and see how far we get. But there you go. Make the most of this cold weather by being warm here and working through some stuff. Let's do it. So as a natural break from work, I'm making a saag paneer. I'm pretty sure I've done this in a vlog before, but I really fancied it today for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's quite a warming dish. So in this sort of -5 type temperature, I say type temperature, it is just -5, I figured I'd make myself something a little spicy, a little bit warming. And also because what's better than cheese and spinach together? And the answer is, of course, nothing. So I've officially had most of the saag paneer now, which was a hit. I've watched a film with Mum and Dad, got a bit distracted. It was a film called, what was it called? It was called Swimming with Men. It had Rob Brydon in it, and most of the people who you'd have in a northern heartwarming comedy. It was really good, actually. I enjoyed it. But yeah, I've just been playing a bit of bass up here, practicing a bit, and I think I've still got quite a few things on my list. But you know what, considering what I did with ABC today, I actually think I've had quite a productive day. I'm going to make sure that I prioritise certain things on this list, for the simple reason that I haven't done them in a couple of days. But before I do that, I actually think I'm going to give up and have a bath. So I'm going to go and do that right now. Really looking forward to this, actually. Well, you know what, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's actually snowed. Like, there is snow on the ground, it has settled. I can't believe it's taken all week, and it actually has settled. I imagine it probably won't be here for the whole day, because it is sort of getting warmer. But yeah, actual snow. The dog is obviously beside himself, he doesn't like going out in this. But it really is beautiful, it really is. You look out the back here and you can see all of it, and it's just fantastic. But I'm not going to let it stop me from having a productive day, that's for sure. I've got lots to do today, and I've got to get on with that right now. Now, I want to talk to you for a moment about a new blend of tea that I've found. It's a T2 blend, and it's called New York Breakfast, and it's revolutionary. Honestly, it's the best thing in the world to have at this time in the morning. It's basically a black tea blend, which obviously you can have with milk, but it's meant to taste like pancakes. It's got like a hint of vanilla and a hint of cinnamon, and I can't get enough of the stuff. I've been having it pretty much every single day. And you know what, I'm actually a pretty big advocate of T2. I've had a lot of good stuff from them. I've had the straight vanilla black tea as well, but this is something else. So at the moment I'm trying to restrict myself to having it once a day, otherwise I'm going to go through like kilograms of the stuff. I just don't understand it. It tastes like pancakes. It tastes like I'm actually having pancakes. And what is better than that? Cheese and a curry. I did say that last night, didn't I? But yeah, wow. Yet more excitement because this has just arrived. My new mini tripod. So I bought this because I need something slightly stronger than the Gorilla Pod that I was using on the DSLR. And hopefully this way I don't have to attach it to a full tripod. Oh, it's so cool. And it also spreads out a little bit more, so in theory it should fall over less. So let's put it on and see what it looks like. Oh, that's really easy. I love that. That's ace. There we go. Wait, ooh. Well, let's pop it down and see if it supports itself. Fantastic. There we go. Works totally fine. Supporting under its own weight. Lovely stuff. So looking back over the last week and my productivity, it's clear that obviously I'm not always accomplished what I set out to do, but this week has been about getting back on the horse, hasn't it? And to be honest with you, I've done so much this week, so much more than I did the previous week, obviously being ill. I think what this is really about is not necessarily accomplishing all these things in a day. It's for those moments when I'm sat there doing nothing, I think I've got nothing to do. All I need to do is turn to this list and go, these are all the things that I could be working on. Because I was always taught to put things on the back burner, say, oh, I want to do this someday. But now my mentality is such that I think I can do a little bit of that every couple of days. And this app has been really helpful for that. And it also keeps a track on it. It is really annoying, like I was saying, to see the things appear again at the start of the day and see all 11 things come up. But it is also quite satisfying to have maybe 10 out of those down. Yeah, I've learnt a lot this week, but I really do feel like I've actually got back on the horse. I do feel like I've accomplished a lot. And in the next few weeks, I look forward to accomplishing more by chipping away at it on a daily basis. And so we come to the end of my first weekly vlog. You might have noticed I'm doing things a little bit differently around here now. Doing daily vlogs was great, but I really wanted to do something where I was putting a little bit more time into it, taking a little bit more care. As you know, the thing that I like doing with this vlog is telling stories, and a week gives me a little bit more time to flesh that story out. And the great thing about this is that I still have to find those stories, I still have to try and find a story in every day, but the difference is I can chart it over a week. Also, this allows me to focus on other content on YouTube as well. And I'd be interested to know what you think I should do, because I'd quite like to put out another video during the week, and obviously I can do covers, I can do review videos and stuff like that, but let me know in the comments if there's anything in particular you'd like me to do. Particularly if you enjoy the Q&As and things like that, I'd love to do more of those. But yes, the weekly vlog is going to be a staple now. Rather than doing it on a daily basis, stick to the weekly thing. And to be honest with you, to me it's got a slightly different feel. I'm not editing at the end of every day now. I'm editing at the end of the week and pulling it all together. But I'm really enjoying it in the same way, and I hope you do too. But anyway, until next week, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you then.